But tell me of one mortal that is not in love with the promise of immortality. Tell me of one mortal who would not pay whatever price to be able to rest at night without the worry of not waking up to the sun once more. I would bet many things of this world if one could show me such a man. Today, I'm afraid, is not the day we bet, but it is the day I tell you of an old legend. Legends such as this are nothing new. They have been ever present since the dawn of time, living in the collective fears and hopes of those like you. I tell you, it is not uncommon to hear such stories. So, if you think to yourself my words sound familiar, be not surprised, for you are probably right. This, my children, is the story of the dead man. You will undoubtedly ask me at this point, who is this man I am telling you of? Truly, I cannot say that I know. It is unique to each and every person who tries this. To meet the dead man is a privilege not many can say they've had. If you happen to come across this ritual, then you were meant to know of it. You have been among the few lucky chosen ones. This is what I offer you. In preparation for the process, one must acquire a few items. They come in 3 categories as follows: protections, rejections, and connections. It is important that you gather them in this exact order, as it infuses them with the right energies. To start, you are asked to find and carry with yourself a bag of sawdust, the blood of a bird, and a bat's wing. These are known as protections, and later on, you will understand how they actually come in handy. The second category of items includes a mirror. It can be a pocket mirror, and a knife. These are the rejections. And last but not least, you will want to have with you a large piece of white fabric, big enough to cover yourself with entirely. You will also need a handful of dirt and an object you have possessed since birth or as close to that moment as possible. For example, a teddy bear, a pacifier, etc. These are the connections. Once you have all these items, make sure you find something to help you carry them with you at all times during the ritual. I suggest making sure that you have quick and easy access to any of them should you need to make use of them in an emergency. On the night following a full moon, plant some wheat in a pot and lay it to rest next to your head when you go to sleep. You will not have any dreams, and you will rest deeply for the time being. A few hours later, though, you will wake up to a knock at the door. You need to get up and answer, and when you do, you will be met by a polite stranger asking if you have some food to spare. You will not see any features, as your surroundings are plunged into complete darkness. Electricity will not be available, but do not worry. Just say yes and retrace your steps back to the bedroom from which you will retrieve the pot of wheat. The stranger at the door will thank you once you hand it to him, and he will ask you if you care to join him for a walk. Once again, your answer should be yes, and you will want to make sure you have all the items with you before you exit your house. Should you forget any of the items mentioned, you will expose yourself to certain dangers with no guarantee of being able to properly defend yourself. That being said, make sure you avoid such an incident. It is worth mentioning that once you step outside your house, you will not be able to step back inside. Upon exiting and joining the stranger on this walk, you will notice you are no longer in your own world. Rather, anywhere you happen to be, everything will be engulfed by a thick layer of fog slithering lazily around. It is paramount that you follow your new friend at all times, as getting lost here will most definitely guarantee your death. After a while, you and your companion will come across a gray, murky body of water. He will proceed to cross it as if gliding across the surface. Here, you must hurry and use the sawdust. Throw it across the surface of the water and only step forward after laying down a path of sawdust before you. Should you omit to bring this item or bring too little to reach the other side of the lake, you will be dragged down below by the hands of those whom the waters have devoured. You will share their fate, not being able to save yourself, not allowed to perish, only to rot. If, on the other hand, you manage to pass this trial without losing sight of your friend, you will find yourself in a dense forest, forever stuck in the dimness of the twilight. It's so vast that you can barely step without tripping. I advise you to stay close behind your companion, for they know the quickest way out of this damned jungle. And if I were you, I would not look around too much in the meantime. You would not miss much, that I can assure you of. Only the bones of those whom the jungle has claimed as its own. Only the skulls of those whose last act was to scream in agony as the trees merged them into their trunks. And if you are particularly unlucky, you might just spot someone, in their final moments, breathing their last, quick, shallow breath as the vines make their way into their flesh. Soon enough, you will reach the base of a rock wall and leave the horrors of the forest behind. You will be safe here, for a while at least. Your friend will manage to pass through the rocky structure, but you need to open it. To do so, a sacrifice is needed. Place your hand on the wall and ask to enter. A face will appear on the cold surface, and it will demand to be fed. The empty stone sockets cannot see you, but the thing can perceive the warmth of your flesh, and it craves it. You must feed it blood. However, I would not advise offering your own, for you see, where you're in the ocean, the scent of blood spells disaster for you. This thing is not the only entity craving your life juices. So hurry up and feed it the blood of the bird I have told you to bring. Upon so doing, the entrance will be revealed, and hopefully you can still spot your companion further down the dark corridor. As you're walking, you should be able to hear the high-pitched noises of the bats living on the ceiling of this cave. Some sound like they are screaming to warn you. Others sound like they are laughing about your dire end. Do not let fear get the best of you, though. there is a chance to make it out of here safe and sound. In the distance, you will see a light. Dim and lifeless at first, it will shine brighter the closer you get. In the main chamber of this cave, there is an emaciated figure, appearing feminine only by its thin, dirty long hair sweeping the ground. It is straining to mix some sort of concoction in a rusty cauldron over a fire. Its limbs are long and bony, its ashy skin dangling with every move. Your friend will pass into the corridor on the other side of the chamber, as if the thing did not even see him. You, however, will be stopped dead in your tracks if you attempt the same thing. The entity with bulging white eyes will demand that you bring it the wing of a bat for its disgusting soup. If it wasn't for my advice, you would be stuck trying to fetch a living bat to this old hag and lose your friend and your way in the dark corridors of the cave. But you have been guided well and prepared for this. So here, you will hurry and offer the batwing to the hag and advance down the next corridor. Keep close to your companion until you have made your way out of the cavernous maze. Once back outside, make sure you have your mirror ready, for it will come handy now. While it will appear like the open field in front of you is devoid of danger, you will soon come to realize how wrong you are for assuming that. You see, this land is ruled by unseen forces trying to slow you down in your path, enough so you lose contact with your friend. They will send curses your way, and you will feel them as aches and pains and numbness in various parts of your body. You will need to bear through them as you walk across this land, trying to keep up with your only hope to make it out safely. When, however, the pain or numbness threatens to stop you from further advancing, you will need to use the mirror to send the energy back to its unseen sender. This way, you will make sure you do not get left too far behind your friend. To use the item, simply place the mirror with the reflecting surface facing away from you, anywhere on the body where you feel aches and pains and numbness. This will send the energy back. However, this comes at a cost. You see, the mirror will crack a little bit every time you use it, and if you use it too much, it might just shatter and leave you exposed to the worst. Make sure you tolerate most of this, because you do not know when you will be in dire need of your mirror. I should say, you still need your friend to guide you just a while longer to the desert of the forgotten. Before you cross its borders, though, and you will know when that is, you need to kill your companion. The knife you brought should come in handy for this task. I assure you it will not be easy to accomplish this requirement, but if you want to meet the dead man and return home safely, it is necessary you complete the task. Oh, and one more tiny thing you should be aware of. Do not let him bite you, scratch you, or draw blood in any other way. Once you are sure your friend is dead, you can step into the desert of the forgotten. Not before you throw on your white piece of fabric, making sure it covers as much of you as possible. You will not be able to see much through the fabric, but that might just be to your benefit. You will know you are going in the right direction when you start seeing dark silhouettes all around you. Follow them. Keep your disguise on, and you should be fine. Perhaps this is a good time to let you know that no matter what you hear or what happens, you are not to turn around or walk back. Do not react to hearing your name called. Do not acknowledge any noise you might hear. Do not respond to any questions. Just keep walking forward and pray that you do not feel anything or anyone touching you. If you do, I'm afraid it is already too late. You have been discovered. Say a prayer in your mind and keep walking. Perhaps you still stand a chance of making it out of there unnoticed. At the edge of the desert, you will come across a golden gate. To pass to the other side of the gate and out of the desert, you will need to trade with the gatekeeper. The one thing that will ensure you are granted access is the handful of dirt I told you to bring. Be mindful, though, that if you forgot to bring this with you, I advise you not to try and trick the keeper with a handful of dirt from the desert. He will see through your trick, and he will rip the sheet off of you, exposing you to the figures of the desert, who cannot wait to dig into some living flesh. You have been warned. Assuming that you manage to trade your way out, you will find yourself in a peculiar place. This place you might have visited before, but it will be different for each one of you who undergo this process. For some, it could be in the middle of a road. For others, it could be a bar, a hospital, or even your own bed. Things will look hazy, but fear not. You are not alone here. Walk around enough, and soon you will come across another figure, an almost familiar one. It will seem lost and confused, wandering around aimlessly. This is the dead man. Now, you need to pull out your final item, the personal possession you have had since forever. Walk to the figure, say nothing, and hand them the item. They will be hesitant and maybe even frightened at first, but soon they will realize what is happening. Just one moment before you are transported back into your world where you started the ritual, the figure's face will flash before your eyes, and it will say, "Thank you." For just a split second there, you saw yourself, your own figure, your own two sparkling eyes, passing from terror and confusion to hope and happiness. Upon waking up, you might feel confused, or on the contrary, you might know exactly what this all meant. I will only tell you this. One day, when life decides not to spare you from too soon a death encounter, you will thank yourself for doing this ritual. And you might just live to tell others who have ears to listen about how you've helped yourself return from the dead. Greetings, my little ghosts, and thank you for staying with me until the end if you did. If you want to help me out, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and join our ghost community. And you can also check out my secondary channel, the Graveyard Ghost Tarot. Make sure you like this video. And hey, if you have an opinion, share it with us because your opinion matters and I cannot wait to read it in the comments down below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.